So, Nate, most youth workers these days are faced with the daunting challenge of planning ahead for a year that is about as uncertain as they come. And given that those gathered here today are from all over the country, even a few from outside the US, and those who are watching this subsequent to our program are really from all over the place, we are all over the map literally on how our regions are responding to COVID. And our energies are different, right? So we have folks who are badly in need of rest. To those of us who have had to cross out a lot of events this past spring, who are now looking to fill our calendars with events for the upcoming year, what wisdom would you have for us as we look ahead to plan, but at the same time honor the rest that is needed?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it actually reminds me of a conversation I had just this morning with some colleagues, of course, on a Zoom call, kind of a staff meeting, sort of a situation, doing the check-in, and a common refrain was just listing all of the fatigue. There's screen fatigue, there's election fatigue, there's COVID fatigue, there's activism fatigue, there's systemic racism fatigue, and on and on and on and on. And in the midst of that, specifically related to some of the Zoom fatigue or screen fatigue, is this sense of losing our bodies and sort of craving like a three-dimensional interaction with people. And you know, I just wonder if a really important starting point for youth workers is to not forget to pay attention to yourself, not forget to pay attention to your own body. And one of the things that we are sort of so quick to ignore is our own exhaustion. I think that one of the things that God tells us through the Sabbath is exhaustion isn't part of the equation, or at least perpetual exhaustion is not part of the equation for what it means to be human or to be God's child. And so if we're exhausted, that might tell us something about the experience of our young people as well. And so what is the thing that's needed there? And I think there probably is a need for programming, but it might look a little different than we think. And so, you know, just sort of maybe a trivial example, maybe not. We were talking through again on this Zoom call about these gatherings that were happening, and the gatherings were happening, and it was supposed to be sort of like for the sake of the community, helping people get to know each other and whatnot. And these little guides had been prepared to help people form community in these online groups, and the feedback was coming that it was just like, I really affirm the idea of these groups, but I'm fatigued to death, right? And so then it came out that one of the things that had happened in these groups was that the leader was actually inviting all the participants to turn off their videos, mute themselves, turn off their videos, and lay down on the ground or stand up, and then just guide people through sort of a mindfulness prayer exercise where you actually ask people to pay attention to their bodies, to, you know, from the top of their head down to the tips of their toes, and where is their tension and where is their stress, where is there a sense of lightness, and inviting the spirit into that and paying attention to that. And then I think one of the courageous steps is, how might our programming acknowledge the awareness of exhaustion as a gift? Because I think that the temptation is just to ignore it. Like, well, the exhaustion, it's just not there. We just push it back, push it back, push it back. But to stop and to be aware of it might change everything. And then to affirm that our young people might need to do something about it. I need to set some boundaries, set some limits, you know, find some time where they're apart from the screen, or time just to rest, or time to be together, you know, in safe ways in a three-dimensional space. I think all of that is probably more important now than it ever has been. So, for what it's worth.
Absolutely. Thank you.